to the DL Gaming Podcast. I'm Bobby.
I'm Nick.
I'm Emilio. Let's get this show on the road.
All right. Get right to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I guess we can small talk a little bit. I went to SeaWorld yesterday with old Shadow.
How's he doing?
Good, man. I met his baby for the first time. She is a few months behind Luna, so it's good for us to be hanging out, you know.
That's pretty awesome.
She's half white, half Asian, looks 100% Asian. There is no Chad in that face at all that I could see. So I got to question her origins now. No, she's super cute. Yeah, never been to SeaWorld before, even though it's 20 minutes from my house, 30 minutes.
Like ever in your life?
Yeah,
Ever?
never in my life. Paid a
Like
guy.
even before all the bands?
Yeah.
Wow.
Paid a guy on OfferUp for his platinum pass for one day for $30. That was the best money I ever fucking spent in my life, man.
Wow.
So for $30, I had the platinum fucking red carpet shit. $60 off of 60% off merchandise, 40% off food. It was almost like regular mall prices, you know, like not like exorbitant crazy prices.
Mhm.
It's the sweater I bought Mila was $46. I got it for like fucking $19. It was awesome. Yeah, kind of a rundown place. It's just old, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know how.
That's what I've heard. Like at this point, it's old as shit.
And it's turning into a
A zoo, right?
no, it's turning into an amusement park. So they have 3 big
Yes.
roller coasters, and they're going to be putting in another one. What's funny about that is my company, Clark Construction, they won the bid for that roller coaster. So there's a small chance that I'll be building a roller coaster, which is pretty fucking cool. It's a tiny job for my company, but whatever, pays the bills.
Nice.
Yeah. What'd you guys do over the weekend?
Can't even remember, man. I don't know.
All right, thanks, Bobby. Nick?
We went to the Adventure Museum as an ED, not erectile dysfunction, but Ed as in the name.
Like
it was,
education?
yeah, like education.
Yeah.
We took Vivian. That was today. Yesterday we played Dungeons and Dragons, and we completed our 4-month-long campaign
Nice.
of our overarching storyline.
What level were they when you finished up?
9, and they leveled up to 10 after this.
Gotcha. Or the arc is done. You're gonna continue playing.
The arc is done.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcher. Cool.
So
Yeah.
right now, I think so. One of them just switched characters, and the other one is switching their character. Leslie's keeping her character, and then 2 others are keeping their characters.
I was listening to Critical Role today, and one of the characters. I'm listening to old stuff. This is campaign 1 because I somehow started on 2. And one of the characters, you know, after years, they've been playing together with like 4 years. This is their first campaign. One of the characters just up and walks out, like gets really
Yeah.
upset and walks out. And I fucking, dude, it was so emotional. I almost started crying. It was like a thing. I was like, whoa. But yeah,
Yeah.
I completely, yeah, sometimes, you know, some people, or you just don't like your character anymore, or something happens to your character and you just have to, like, this is what actually they would do. This character would
Yep.
do this. So yeah, sometimes.
So
you
he
gotta
was
play it out.
upset at something that happened in the game, not at the other people.
No,
they were
his
playing?
character was upset at the teams. The people remained friends, and he
Okay.
made a new character. But yeah, after like years and years, just it was crazy, man. It was so out of the blue too.
So wait, his character was upset at the other characters?
Right?
So the real person playing the character walked out on the real people?
No.
No,
His character
Oh,
walked out.
walked
okay.
out. On
I'm
the
so bad at
in-game
role
party.
playing. Do not
Yeah, we
understand
know.
at all.
Yes, we know, Dwarf Paladin.
From first person. I'm just kidding. You're a very good role player. But no, yeah, they finished that up with a pretty long 4.5 hour long session.
Yeah,
Um,
those last ones.
yeah, and it was a bunch of fun. We're skipping this coming week so I can write essentially not the next, storyline or the next huge adventure that the gang is going on. Really what it is like the next couple quests that they can just really dink around on until they figure something out or find something to do or investigate, and then it'll devolve into.
And then people need to learn the new characters too
Yeah, that too.
before you throw a fucking dragon at them.
Yeah, I'm like, we might switch from the current universe that we're in to something else. Like we might go to Ravnica, which is obviously Magic the Gathering.
Hmm.
We might go to Mirrodin, which is also Magic the Gathering, which is a place that none of our characters have been to, which would be really cool. I love Mirrodin. It's a really interesting place in Magic the Gathering and in D&D. Um, and then yeah, well, I don't know. We'll I'm excited for everything that's going to happen in Dungeons and Dragons in my universe. So
Good
if you guys
shit.
want to hear more about that, just comment that in the Discord.
Good shit. So let's talk about some video games, yeah?
Yep, let's do it. On the radar, so games that have come to our attention recently. I'll start it off with Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers Edition. Not really a fan of that title, but I never knew this game existed. It's like not a sequel to Chrono Trigger, but in the same universe. Came out in 1999. Chrono Trigger came out in 95, I believe. So I don't know what system this was for. Probably like the PlayStation if it was around that time. But anyway, on Steam, they're going to be releasing a remastered version of it. So texture updates, higher quality sound, and a few other just quality of life things are updating about the game. Chrono Trigger was a game that I didn't discover till much later. Final Fantasy III was probably my favorite game on Super Nintendo ever, which is funny because I don't really play Final Fantasy games in general. But much later, I discovered Chrono Trigger and really liked that game. Still have yet to beat it. And this one, I don't know if I imagine it's relatively the same, but it's got those like late 90s 3D graphics. But it says it's got like over 40 characters in it, which in Chrono Trigger, I remember there being a lot less characters. It felt more like a story, like a campaign you were playing through, as opposed to Final Fantasy III, which had all these different characters and you can mix and match your team. And Chrono Trigger, it really felt like, okay, in this part you play these characters. But anyway, this game's coming out April 7th, 2022. I don't think it has a price yet, but these things tend to be pretty pricey.
Yeah, pretty pricey.
Oh, it does have a price.
Oh.
Okay, $20. That's not bad, actually.
So what do you think? Pick up, Bobby?
It's definitely possible.
Well, what's the Metacritic on the original release?
On the original release?
Yeah, Sniper. It might be a shit game. I remember.
Does Metacritic rate games that old? They must.
I don't know how
right?
it works. They aggregate whatever fucking is out there. I
Yeah, there may not be as many. I know, like with Rotten Tomatoes, like old movies are on there.
Shit.
Okay, 94.
Is that the right? Yeah, there you go, dude. For $20.
8.8 user score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn.
I'm sure it's a great game, and it was on the original PlayStation.
I do remember when it came out, I was like, oh, because now thinking about it, when you said I haven't beat Chrono Trigger, I remembered. I always say that the stupid zombie game is the first game to make me cry. The fucking Telltale
Zombie
one.
game.
The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead.
Last of Us?
No, the Walking Dead. But it was Chrono Trigger. It has. I get all swept up in the music and the epicness, dude. You're like fucking fighting for the fate of time itself. It's like insane. It's insane. So yeah, finish that one up first.
I really should, but the problem is it's a difficult game to jump back into. So I probably made it not very far, like 25%, maybe a third of the way through the game is as far as I've ever made it.
Oh.
So I guess it wouldn't be that bad just to start it all over again. But they do have a version on Steam that is made to run on PC. And I guess I could easily pick that back up. Of course, I still got to finish Final Fantasy III, which I'm halfway through that playthrough. That game I can jump into at any point, though. I know that game like front and back at this point.
So, but that's back when 80-hour games were a thing. What is Chrono Trigger time to beat, Christian? Please.
Well, I'm sure it was long, but you also got to remember that back then you couldn't just look up on the internet how to get past certain things. Like maybe you got a Nintendo Power that gave you some hints or like a Game Players magazine, but for the most part, like you were on your own and games took a lot longer to beat.
It's just a grind, man. You got to level up. There's DPS and HP checks throughout the game.
Well, 20 hours is what they
Oh,
say
wow.
for Chrono Trigger.
Wow, I'm shocked.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's not too bad, actually.
No, not bad at all. You can beat that in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. You keep bringing up these old Final Fantasies, man. I feel like you really want to play one.
I don't know. Like, I always loved Final Fantasy 3, and I've been playing through like the Super Nintendo one, and I feel like I should beat that, but I really don't have much of an interest in playing the other ones. Maybe 7.
Yep.
Are you gonna play the remake of 7 or the old 7?
I'd be okay with the remake.
You should try the remake.
Bobby, I have one for you. Norco. Not the drug, apparently. Maybe
I would say, what the fuck?
Maybe, yeah, it was a weird name. Because when I always find the game, and then I open another web page, and then I type it in. And almost always, Steam game is the first link. This time it was like a whole page of drugs. And then I was like, oh, yeah, Steam Norco. But I say it for you because it's a point-and-click adventure, but it's been developed recently. And, yeah, those two things don't happen very often. There's usually not a whole lot of brand-new point-and-click adventures.
No, they're out there. You'd be surprised.
But this one got really good reviews. I think it's somewhere in the 90s. Not a whole lot of reviews. Let's see. Yeah, 93 with just like 47
reviews. Not a lot.
Post-apocalyptic setting or some sort of like dystopian setting. Something about junkyard or, use wastelands or something like that. Anyway, I don't know. For me, on my radar, this doesn't happen very often. So I thought I'd suggest it for you.
All right. What's the price tag on this? How much are we looking at for Norco?
Free for the demo.
$12.75. It's on sale right now.
Yep.
That's not too bad.
Free
That's not
demo
bad
if
at
you
all.
want to check it out.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
All right, Nick, what you got?
So I wanted to talk about something that I already own, but I just started actually using it. Is For the King Lost Civilization Adventure Pack. So I bought it the other day. Sorry, Bobby, but you've been replaced. I'm just kidding. Turns out you can run multiple For the King campaigns at once.
I've been playing without you too, man. So
Whoa.
Fuck you, man. But no.
This is how you get Asian-looking babies, dude. People playing around behind each other's back.
But no. It turns out if only one person owns the DLC, it activates for everybody.
does that
nice.
person have to be hosting?
No.
Oh, cool.
And the other thing is the DLC adds like 30 new enemies and a bunch of new weapons. And it's only like $6
in the regular world when you're at
in the regular world, in the regular
nice.
campaign.
Cool. And then is it what was I gonna say? $6. That's crazy that like they charge that little for it and yet you can still share it, you know?
Yeah, of course, I'm playing For the King on Epic, so I don't know if it's the same price on there. They might have a sale on Steam. But yeah, I mean, that's a game we've been playing so much of that I wouldn't mind putting a little more money into. Because I didn't even put this on the show notes, but I recently started a solo campaign, which was the second part, the Frost Adventure. I'm sure you played that one, Nick. Yeah, and I played through that one. And it was a lot shorter than the original one, and I actually beat it. But I was encountering like some new enemies and I think some new items and just like different things. Like you take cold damage when you're outside, like just a lot of different factors that you have to account for. And it was really enjoyable. Like I really enjoy this game.
Hey, Nick,
So I
question
didn't know
for you.
this. Let me say this real quick. I didn't know this, but when you beat the other campaigns, they unlock stuff for the main campaign as well.
Oh, for
Like they unlock new enemies and new items. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
My question was, I know that like you guys' initial review, you had a lot of quality of life complaints, even though the game is great and all this stuff. I forgot what it was, but it was just like little things that irked you guys. But in the DLC, did they fix any of this?
No.
No.
It's It's so we had a new player sign up, and there's so many things that the game still does not teach you at all.
Mm.
So, for example, one of them is being able to check what is available for sale in a city that you visited, and it's a huge thing that you can do, right?
Yeah.
So, like, me and Bobby would be like, "Hey, we're next to a city. We're like 10 tiles away. We want to see what's for sale in that city. We don't have to want to run all the way over there." The game doesn't tell you that you can just shift and left click the city, and then it just tells you what's for sale there,
Mm.
or how much it costs to rest there,
Yeah.
or what quests are available there. It just doesn't tell you at all.
This is such a strange, and I thought I've said this already, but it's just a strange thing to have wrong with your game. Like
Yeah.
you just you didn't present the information correctly, or not enough, or in the wrong way. It's just a strange thing.
And then let me double trip you out. The ability to use focus. So focus is arguably the number one currency in the game, and that's actually something that you don't know until later on. Like if an item has add focus to like the stat, it's pretty much one of like an instant pickup, right? You can use focus to move an extra tile. Well, the fucking thing is, the game doesn't tell you is that if you use a focus to move an extra tile, if you use a focus and you don't move that extra tile, you don't get that focus back. Because to get focus back, you have to rest. And it's a currency that you just don't get back magically or randomly. You have to pay to get back, or use stuff to get back. And so you can either use it in combat or you can use it out of combat. And so if you're new to the game and you're just using focus to move everywhere, you have no clue that if you use it while you're moving,
you
just can't utilize it anywhere else.
Yeah. Yep.
And so like one of our new players, she didn't realize that when she moved, she had a chance when the day was clear that she can possibly move an extra 2 tiles just by chance. And the other thing is, she didn't realize when you're in combat and you use focus, you can cancel your when you use focus, you can cancel it. But you can't cancel when you use focus for movement. And so she lost all 4 of her focus points in movement. And it really messed up our turn. So it's just like little things like that. Like we were playing our first campaign with it. We're like, oh fuck, we forgot to mention that. Oh fuck, we forgot to mention that. And it's just like you kind of have to throw away your first session with people because of that.
And despite all this, you guys still play it. That's crazy, man.
Dude, it's such a good game.
Well, when you learn the game, these things don't become a problem.
Right.
At all.
They cease to become a problem after a while. But it is kind of difficult to get used to. And another thing on top of that, the thing that I just find most annoying is it doesn't really explain a lot of spells and actions during fights. So you just have to look them up. Like it says reflect. Like we all kind of know what reflect is, but how exactly does that work in this game? Or
is there a wiki?
Yeah,
but the wiki sucks.
Yeah, it's not very good.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been updated in ages. Like some of the abilities have been changed.
Because the guy who made it just he was so frustrated with all this shit. He's like, "Fuck it."
Yeah, the game
you have to go to like old Steam community posts, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to do some Googling.
Looking at?
You got to do some detective work. But yeah, so like whenever I get a new item and I see these abilities, I have no idea what they do. It doesn't tell me, and you can't really waste a turn experimenting with one of them because every turn really counts in this game. So
you can't go back to the first area and beat up little stuff.
You could, but time is always moving forward, so you really can't spend too much time just like out there grinding.
Right.
Because then
like
the scourge will come, and there's something else. Yeah. So, and prices are going up, inflation. So
here's a game where you have to fumble.
It's a thing.
You got to fumble through the whole game to fucking figure everything out. But also, we're gonna cut you off at the nuts and not give you any time to figure shit out.
Dude,
crazy.
that's a fucking thing. Inflation's a thing, by the way.
That's
Like
what happened
when
to
you
me,
level
dude.
up, yeah, when you level up, and the more you buy stuff, the more like the shit gets more expensive, and it's like it's an algorithm. Like you level up, you buy shit, and the more time has passed, like the exponentially shit gets more expensive. And we were just like, how, like, what mechanic does this run off of? Like, we're trying to crack the code and we couldn't. And I looked it up, and it's an algorithm. It's so crazy.
Yeah. Shit. Well, it's both a testament to it and also it has some fucking shitty parts to it.
Yeah.
What's Dungeon Village?
Okay, Dungeon Village is this little city builder game. I think it started out as a mobile game, and it's coming out at the end of March. And I thought, okay, this looks kind of cool. And I'm looking at it, and then I noticed there's another game called like Game Development something or other, and it has like the exact same graphics. Turns out they were made by the same company. So if you look at this game, I'm not even talking about the game here, but the developer, I suppose. But if you look at the Steam page and you scroll down, there's a link that says, check out more of our games. And if you click on that, this company has a whole bunch of games and they all look exactly the same. The graphics are like exactly the same. Oh, you had the right link there, Christian. Okay, there you go. Yeah, so you can look at all these games. They got Game Dev Story, exact same graphics. And they've got this Dungeon Village game. Same graphics, but like a medieval setting. Hot Springs Story. It's like I don't know, inner city, but
Yeah, I
same.
thought you were about to tell me it's like the fucking porno version of the game.
Dream House. Yeah, so it's like
How many of these are there? Let's get going. Station Manager.
Station Manager. Yeah, I think there was like 5 or 6.
Okay,
but it was kind of weird to me. I was like, did they just make the same game like in 5 or 6 different settings? Oh, there's a lot. A sushi one.
10. What?
Venture Towns.
Could be,
Sushi
man.
There
Story.
has to be like a cult following for this shit. Like there has to be like the people that like this is their shit.
Well, when I Googled it, they
What-
were on mobile. Like the first links that come up are like Google Play, Apple Arcade.
Okay.
So I think they're just now coming to Steam, but these
Oh,
may have
that makes
existed
sense.
before, and like they were mobile games or something. But yeah, I just thought that was kind of strange. Because it immediately, like you see a game and you're like, oh, that kind of looks cool. But then you see 10 other games that look exactly like it. And immediately you're just like, okay, I guess it's not as cool as I thought. Like,
well, maybe it's a tiny little team and they're just reusing all the assets, right? Because they're all what, simulation games or whatever.
yeah, and you got to be careful about judging games by their graphics too, because you look at like Prison Architect. So the designer that the guy who did the graphics for that game, he went on to make his own games, and they looked very, very similar, but they operate very differently. So, but in this case, I don't know. I don't know if that's the case.
So you're not advocating for this game at all. You're just saying, what a strange case, huh?
Yeah, I've
You're
never
like-
ran into this before.
Yeah.
Where I just
It-
saw like 10 clones of a game.
Yeah.
Like,
You're like, wait, are these copycats or literal copies?
yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know. They could be good though. The game dev one, I was like, okay, I really like Game Dev Tycoon or whatever that one was. Game
Where-
Tycoon.
Let's check out some scores. Let's go through
Well,
the
they're not
scores.
out yet. I don't
They're
know
No,
if
the
any-
other ones.
unreleased, dude.
All the other ones.
All of them, they're unreleased.
Oh, right. Because they're coming over as a group from mobile. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Whatever. Or maybe they made some money and they're like, hey, this cutesy little look is getting us. By the way, the graphics are not good. They're just,
I mean, they're all right.
they're
They're like
pixelated,
they're kind of pixelated, but not like a whole lot.
16-bit, 16-bit, I
It's
guess.
like an isometric angle.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're all right.
Okay, stop defending it, Bob. Buggos. This has bad graphics too, but very good reviews. So Buggos is an RTS where you play against the AI. You are bugs, and you're going up against the humans who have guns and walls and shit like that. And you try to kill them. You don't want them there anymore. As you kill humans, you get points, and you use those points for mutations. And you grab different mutations for whatever the problem happens to be. So conceptually, I think it's great. The graphics are pretty rough, pretty rough. We're talking like Frogger shit.
Yeah,
But,
I think that's supposed to be the point, though.
The graphics? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be the point.
I think one guy made this, dude. But the reviews, where we at on the reviews? 91% with 112 copies sold. I've always liked the idea of RTS that are not multiplayer. Mostly because I suck at them so bad, and I only play the AI anyway on the easiest setting. So, and then if it has a story and like things like, a mutation menu, that part looked pretty in depth. So, yeah, I don't know. Looks like a good Saturday afternoon.
All right.
Yeah, looks pretty cool.
Price tag was $15.
Little steep for those graphics. Little steep.
Yeah, little steep for that one. I will say that.
Let's put it on the wish list.
All right. Well, let's talk about some games that we have been playing here. I guess I'll start off with my one game that I've been playing other than For the King this week. I finally finished Deponia Doomsday. That's the 4th installment of the Deponia series, which started back in 2012.
Is it new?
No.
Okay.
I started this game. This is one of those games that I started a couple years ago and then just left half finished. And finally I was just like, all right, I got to go back and finish this one
I
off.
remember, didn't you play them back to back, and you were kind of burnt out when you got to the 4th one?
I played the original trilogy. I
Yeah.
played those like one after the other, and I really enjoyed those ones. So the Deponia games, they're by Daedalic Games, and they really remind me a lot of the old LucasArts games, like the pirate one, Monkey Island. They've got the strengths and the flaws of those games. Like they've got, I really enjoy the animation style of this. They've got these goofy, fun characters, and they have that going for it. But it's also, the puzzles are a little wonky sometimes. Like it's things that you would probably not normally figure out. Like you really have to do some experimenting. It's like random stuff. Like you got a belt, some string, and a blanket, and you have to jumble that together to make a parachute. Like you wouldn't really know that. You just have to kind of experiment.
And you, I was going to say you brute force it, right? You just keep
you try every item with every item.
You just start clicking everything.
Location,
which is not fun.
No, it's not
not
fun
rewarding.
when you play these games like that. I mean, really, the key to these types of games, though, is listening to the dialogue. So in the Deponia games, they'll give you a lot of hints if you pay attention to what the characters are saying. But they talk quite a bit. It's a lot of dialogue. So it may not be for everybody. But I really enjoyed the trilogy. And then when they came out with the 4th one, I was like, why do we really need one? Because the 3rd one ended with the main, spoiler alerts here. The 3rd one ends with the main character dying, sacrificing himself to save the world, basically. And then they bring this 4th one around and they do this whole time travel thing. And I'm like, okay, sure, do the time travel thing. But then they do like the same morality tale that they do with all time travel stories. And that's like, whatever you do, you can't change what happened. So you just need to accept it, yada, yada.
It's all this eye rolling that probably made you quit the first time.
Well, I don't know, man. See, like when Life is Strange did that in the first season, I was like, oh, it's so deep and profound. And now I'm just like, it's seen it before, So I don't know. That's just maybe me being jaded. But the 4th one was pretty good.
What? Jaded?
Yeah, not me. But
Bobby,
it was tough because I played like half the game years ago and then half the game
Yeah.
now. So that's not the best way to play these games. And it's pretty hard, especially if you leave off in the middle of a puzzle. It's really hard to pick up from there. But the game was pretty good. I still think the trilogy really stands on its own, though. And they've repackaged the original trilogy into like one, like deluxe master edition or something like that, like director's cut, which you can get for like dirt cheap out there. And I don't think I'm going to replay the entire trilogy just to experience that. But if you've never played these games and you like point and click adventures, then that's probably the way to go.
What's up with Norco though? You gonna check that out, Bobby? What do you think?
Maybe, man. It's been a long time since I played a point and click adventure. So this is the first one in a while.
I hope so.
Maybe I'll start up again. What's weird about this though? So the first Deponia comes out in 2012. And in the story, you play this guy, main character's name is Rufus. He's this goofy idiot, basically. Very, very, again, very LucasArts games, 90s. Like
Fry?
Like Fry from Futurama. Like the guy's just...
Oh, by the way,
idiot.
Coming back.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
With the original cast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of old episodes, getting ready.
Ooh, nice.
But...
Did you guys hear King of the Hill's coming back?
That
and
I
it's
don't know
14
about.
years
Man.
after.
Love the show,
It's,
but I don't know.
Never enjoyed
It's-
King of the Hill. Didn't get it.
It's 14 years after the original. I mean, the last episode.
My problem with King of the Hill was, why is it a cartoon? It's all just regular stuff.
No, that was so. That's what was cool about it, though. It was like, I don't know. We're getting down the wrong road here. Anyway, so Deponia came out in 2012. Main character lives on like a junk planet, basically. All the rich people live up in this fancy place. You can see it right there.
Elysium.
Yeah, Elysium. This is very, very similar to the plot of the movie Elysium by who's
Oh
that
shit! It's called Elysium.
Yeah, the movie's called Elysium.
No,
It
no,
was-
not the movie, but the area in this game is called
Mhm.
Elysium. Oh shit!
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
What's the director? Chappie.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Did
What's
he
his name?
disappear? I feel like he.
No, he was supposed to do RoboCop 2, and then he dropped out of that because he was on another project. But that
RoboCop
would have
4, you mean?
no. They're doing the whole thing where let's ignore
Oh.
the sequels. And
Oh.
Yeah, that thing. Okay, there
Well,
it is.
what
Neil
happened with this? I'm
Blomkamp.
super excited about this. What happened
To what?
to RoboCop 2?
Still in production.
Shit.
Yeah, but he would have been the perfect fit because he's a South African director. It's got that grittiness. If you've ever seen a movie that's just made in South Africa, like Dread, I would highly recommend. Like it's just got this this gritty production value you just can't replicate. Or what was the one District 9?
That was him
yeah,
too.
again in South Africa.
Yeah.
Took place there.
Come on,
filmed there.
Chappie, you gotta be gangster, Chappie.
And I like
Yeah,
Chappie,
dude,
like, a lot
that
of
was really
people-
good, dude.
I like that.
I
movie.
do.
know
I
that
love
wasn't
me.
real
That's one of
popular.
me. That's one of the first movies that me and Leslie watched together when we were like we're first living together, and we were like, that was a good movie. And we were just like all the time we were just talking like with a South African accent. We were like, you gotta be gangster, Chappie.
Diane word, dude. I've spent many a drunk nights, or maybe even maybe the time lines up some drugs too. Fucking just up all night watching their videos. Their videos are so insane, dude. It's like some of the craziest imagery you ever fucking see.
Yeah, they're out there.
I love them. I
Yeah.
love them, dude. Fucking Reach Beach, motherfucker, Reach Beach. It's fucking awesome.
Fatty boom boom. There's also the
Fatty Boom Boom
Ugly
is
Boy
so
with-
good.
They have Ugly Boy with Jack Black in the video,
Oh, I know Jack Black was in it.
and what's his name? Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, that's who that is.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
Now I got to rewatch that.
Yeah. So I don't know what came first, the video game or the movie, because they're both Elysium. I want to say came out 2013. Like it was right around the same time, and Deponia was made in Germany too. I don't know.
No,
if-
I think they're probably a source material of like ancient Greece or something, of some writing.
Yeah,
about,
I mean there must be some similarity.
Yeah.
But it was just even aside from that, like it was just so close. You got this junk planet down below, and then this place called Elysium floating up in the sky.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anyway,
Was Elysium any good? I
The
remember
movie?
he. Yeah.
nah, it's not one of his best
The movie,
movies. It's all right.
Nah, it's one of the ones. District 9 was supposed to have a sequel too. It's supposed to be District 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be it was supposed to be like one of those movies where it flashes back before and after something. That was like the concept of it. Like it was like when the prawns first got there, and then it was after the uprising. Like it was like a back and forth.
So if you want a puzzle game that's straight up and down, and you don't have to try to brute force things, you have to play around with things. The Pedestrian. We've talked about this because of its.
Yeah, I played like half this game. I don't think I ever finished it, but
Did you bring it up?
I talked about it a little
You
bit.
must have.
Yeah, and
You must have.
Warconius, I think, mentioned it not as his game of the year, but like one of his like runner-ups or shout-outs or something.
Now, I didn't play it, but I watched Sam play it. I was like, hey, you might enjoy this. And she did. You know, she played, I probably watched her play for about 45 minutes. Really, I mean, the selling point here is it's probably the best looking puzzle game ever made, because you are playing as the little dude on the crosswalk sign. And you can pick female or male. And you go through the game jumping from sign to sign, and the actual level is very small. It's just the size of a sign, and what you're seeing is a whole 3D modeled world behind these signs. I know this sounds kind of weird, but like imagine two pieces of paper and on a fence, and then everything behind it looks great, but then you have a little man running around on two pieces of papers in the foreground. That's kind of like what's going on. It starts off pretty simple, like most puzzle games, and then you get to the point where the puzzles are affecting the real world around you. So you'll do something in the puzzle that will push the button that opens the door to the warehouse, and then later on, even more so, you'll be doing things inside of your puzzle, and electrical things will be plugged in and unplugged in the real world and electrified and start other things going. And so it's just a super simple black and white puzzle game, but it adds a whole lot to it by adding graphical parts to it. Personally, I'm not big on just puzzle games. I like puzzles inside of games, things that make you feel smart when you get them done. Sam never picked it up again, so I'm not saying like this is a huge winner for me, but like if you're a puzzle person, you're gonna love this because you don't get graphics very often, and this one has graphics. Is there more to it, Bobby? Like, is there a story that you're running into at some point?
I think there was kind of a story developing it, and the puzzles start to increase in complexity. But yeah, the novelty does kind of wear off pretty quickly, though. So that's how I feel about most puzzle games, honestly.
Yeah.
I have no idea how people can play through games like The Witness or something. It's great games, but it's just like in Talos Principle couldn't finish that one either.
And especially like with The Witness, dude, it's the same principle. It's the same puzzle type. You know, the entire game is one puzzle type. Like, switch it up. Like, give me different kinds of puzzles. Nick, for the King, we covered that enough already, or you have something?
I'm gonna say we covered that enough, actually. Yeah.
All right. Well, get on Elden Ring. Unfortunately, I got to pee so bad. Talk
Yeah,
slow.
no, I'll talk about Elden Ring. So want to say I officially beat Elden Ring. I didn't 100% it, unlike obviously. It took me 60 hours. I wasn't trying to just rush the ending. There was a lot of things that I was trying to explore and do. I tried a couple builds out. Bobby, I feel like if you played this game, you would probably get lost in the sauce, as we say in the military, in the sense of you would probably just explore everything you probably could. When I say this, when I'm trying to explain how big this game is, Bobby, like you start the beginning area, like, all right, this game's pretty big because it's like the map doesn't show how big the game is until you like you get another piece of it, and then it like extends, and it does that like 11 times in the game. But the thing is, the game doesn't explain that there's like 4 layers to the map, and like every single one of those layers is either as big or half as big as the one above it. And like me and my friends are starting to compare notes because we're like avoiding spoilers and stuff online.
Mhm.
And like one of my friends is like, "Hey, did you guys go to like the underworld?" And we're like, "Underworld? What the fuck do you mean underworld?" He's like, "Yeah, the land of the dead where, skeletons are walking around and there's like undead people everywhere." We're like, "What are you talking about, man?" We're thinking like he's like making up shit. And and lo and behold, in my new playthrough, I've discovered this place, and there's just so much shit to do in this game, dude. Like if you told me, Nicholas, someone has $60 and there's a game that they have to play for a year, this is probably that game.
I've heard
Like
nothing but good things.
it's a single player game. This is probably that game. There's so much shit to do.
And the
I
core
like
game, it's not like there's so much to do, and the game's all right. It's like the
Exactly.
game's fucking fantastic. The core mechanics are great, and there's so much to do, right?
Exactly. Like every time I'm like, I wonder what's behind that rock over there, and I go behind that rock. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. Like every single time, like there's always something behind something. There's always something to do, and like granted, some of the bosses, it'll be like, oh, it's two of these guys, and I'm like, you know what? One of these guys was hard. Now that it's two, it's gonna be hard as shit. But hey, that's new.
Yeah.
And like some of the boss fights are previous boss fights from Dark Souls games, and that's pretty cool too. The game is really good. Does it deserve a 97 on Metacritic? Yeah. Um, guess what I did right after I beat the game?
Started a new game.
Started a new game, not New Game Plus, a whole new game.
John was talking. JP did. He was saying the same thing. As I'm playing, I'm planning my new run. Like,
Yes.
fuck, that is crazy. Oh, and he discovered the underworld too, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
There's 3 underworlds. There's 3.
The
There-
underworld.
There's an underworld that represents magic. There's one that represents like blood, and then there's another one that represents death.
And the other, he was saying something. I didn't completely understand him last night. He was saying that you'll go through an area that you've already been, and there'll just be a cave entrance, and you go in there, and there's like a whole new dungeon there. So I don't know if he meant like the devs are putting new shit in all the time, or randomly generated dungeons pop in.
No, so what he's talking about is like even getting to a certain level or like progressing in the story, and you go back there, stuff will be open now,
Oh,
and you don't realize it.
the world is changing.
Or even the world is changing, and like I'm not going to spoil anything, but certain parts in the story will cause huge geographical changes.
Mm.
And you know, like, hey, when I was there, there's a lot of these things that were there, and now that this stuff is dead, that stuff's probably gone. Maybe I should go back there,
Mm.
you know? And you go back there, and you're like, oh, there was a giant door there.
Nick,
And so,
I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Is this the best game you've ever played?
no,
Okay.
no, there are things about this game that are very frustrating. So the last boss in this game is not the hardest Dark Souls boss I've ever played, but it's one of the ones that I have had to attempt the most. And not because it's difficult, but because it cheats. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It breaks the rules of the game to whatever.
So I don't like quoting other reviewers, and I don't like quoting other like content creators. But there's the number one Elden Ring review is by Donkey right now on YouTube. It's like 28 million views in 3 days. I mean, not 28, 2.8 million reviews in 3 days. And he gives the game a glowing review for 80% of the video, and he's like, I've beaten the game 4 times so far, and all of his characters are between a level 1, and this is an example. All of his characters are between a level 110 and 150. Right? And granted, your character should be around level 100 to beat the game. But the thing is, almost all of his characters are running the same build or the same stuff at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Because there's almost nothing that compares to those builds at the end of the game. So
maybe the balancing issues.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, for example, there's spoiler alert, and not major spoiler alert. In the end of the game, there's 5 boss fights in a row. Like there's no minor enemies. You fight a boss, there's a rest area. You fight a boss, there's a rest area. There's 5 in a row. Those last 5 boss fights, every single one of those boss fights, if you don't have enough health, like you die instantaneously, like to every single one of their attacks. And so, and that's not to say that you shouldn't have that much health, but it gets to the point where like that amount of health detracts from people's builds and detracts from the way people should play the game. Like the minimum is 40 vigor. 40 vigor is 30 something levels. That's 1/3 of the amount of levels that you level up, or over 1/3 of the amount of levels that you level up in the game just to get the amount of health that you need to be able to fight the last bosses.
Could you fight those? I know it sounds crazy, but could you fight those bosses without getting hit?
No. I mean, unless you're like a super godlike streamer
Right.
and like are those people that speed runs or you're doing bugs and glitches? No.
Yeah.
Um,
Seems
and
like
I want to point out what we just saw on stream right now. We just saw like a guy for our audio listeners. We just saw like a giant lizard extend his body, and that guy Kamehameha that guy. I've never seen that thing, and I put 60 hours in this game. I've never seen that thing. I've never seen a bunch of enemies that a bunch of my friends have played. There are these things that that are chariots that instantly kill people no matter what, and they're puzzles. I've seen them. I didn't know you can fucking kill them, dude. And like people have YouTube videos like, how do you kill these things? They're hitting them. They're trying to blow them up. Nothing happens. Turns out you have to like do some weird mechanics, like where you're literally like moving fucking like pillars and things, and these chandeliers just show up, and you shoot the chandeliers on top of them. And it is it is the most convoluted bullshit in the world, but it's a straight Dark Souls game.
Mm-hmm.
So
The internet versus the Dark Soul game.
yeah,
a lot of the
exactly.
time. Yeah.
And the devs are like, we're gonna keep adding shit, and we're gonna keep adding shit and not telling you guys. So yeah.
It makes me. This game makes me want to wish I was a Dark Souls fan. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of people that are not Dark Souls fans or that have never played Dark Souls that have played this game. They're like, it's pretty fucking
I'm
good.
sure there is. I'm just waiting for a deep sale. That's all. So maybe next year or something like that. Because I might get not so much because like I don't think it's good. It's just like I don't have the playtime anyway. So
Well, you could probably catch the last one too. What was that one? The Japanese one?
Which one? Sekiro?
Sekiro, yeah.
yeah.
So
that
that's
one's gotta
the
be
thing,
cheap.
man. A lot of people say that this game blows Sekiro out of the fucking water.
Yeah, but by the time you can afford or you want to buy this game on the cheap next year, like there's going to be some other game blowing this one out of the water.
Yeah, it's gonna be Elden Ring too soon.
Cool. So anything else, Nick?
As far as my like opinion or anything like statements, I'm probably gonna keep playing this game, man. Like as far as like the thing to do, like Leslie's playing Kirby. I ain't gonna play it. Leslie's playing it.
Oh,
I'm waiting for Total War. I'm waiting for Immortal Empires to come out, and my full review for that game is not coming out until Immortal Empires comes out. Right now, that shit's sitting at a solid 71. It's sitting at a C-.
Now, this was just a headline that I saw, but it said "Move over Elden Ring." There's a new contender for Game of the Year, and it was the Kirby game. How I'm hearing that it's good.
I fell asleep because I stayed up until 2:30 in the morning trying to beat the last boss in Elden Ring, and I fell asleep when she started playing Kirby. So I don't know. We might have a guest speaker on the podcast.
Oh shit!
talking about
Yeah,
this.
she's welcome anytime.
Yeah. So we might have a hot mic.
So, I had my entire weekend of gaming was about 2 hours, and just so happened I was up late, and John was up. No, John was up late, and I got on kind of late for me, but magic happened, and we're like, oh my god, we get to play video games together, and it had been weeks, and I was like, okay, something we both had installed that we were gonna try. Aliens Fireteam, that came to mind because we both had it installed for fucking months. We've been wanting to play it since it came out on Game Pass, and we spent 10 minutes troubleshooting how to get into a multiplayer with each other, which you never want to do, and puts a bad taste in your mouth right away. But no fault of the game. That's just fucking Game Pass, and that's the fucking Xbox app and all that stuff. I had to continue playing, hearing him through my monitor while I was also hearing him through my headphones, even though we troubleshooted that a lot.
Yeah, you have to go through Windows to disable that.
Oh, in Windows?
Mm-hmm.
Not Xbox app?
You got to go to the Windows sound settings and disable Aliens Fireteam from using the microphone.
Well, the way that...
Why? $1 trillion company Windows. Why? Why can't you be good?
It was awful. It was
Why?
awful. Anyway.
There's some weird things about this game.
Pleasantly surprised about a lot of this this game. I didn't play it much, but the graphics are great. Like really good, polished. Like
the graphics are good. The character animations are a little, they detract a little bit from it, but yeah, game looks fine.
Started playing it. It's got everything that you want out of a game like this, I guess. It has cool graphics. It got cool abilities. It has a bunch of enemies, different enemy types, and when they come out, it's something you have to deal with. Like when a spitter comes out, it's like a thing. You definitely have to address that. You have to call it out where it is. Deal with all that. It's a 3-person multiplayer, which is an odd number, but that's what it was. We played with an AI for our run through. We finished the first campaign, the first 4 levels or whatever. I did like that you weren't shooting things that move like humanoids. Like you get so used to headshotting things that are just like head height, like everything's head height. In regular games, but these things crawl very low to the ground, very low to the walls or on the ceiling. So you're shooting in areas that you don't naturally shoot at, which is nice. It changes the way that you regularly shoot at things. That was pretty cool. But after completing the first 4 stages or whatever, and unlocking things and doing all this stuff, I was like, yeah, it has a lot of cool stuff. But unfortunately, I think Bobby had addressed this, that the core gameplay, even though everything's there and everything works, it's just not like super fun. It's just not like I'm dying to go back and kill more aliens. I was thinking about this, like how could they improve this with what they have already? And I'm just spitballing. I don't know if this would fix it or anything, but I kind of felt like each alien was so disposable, except for the real ones, the special aliens. The regular fodder were just so easy to kill that they weren't special. It wasn't hard to kill them. I just thought maybe less enemies and way harder to kill would have been more interesting way to go. But I don't know. I'm just spitballing like what's wrong with this game. I can't really put my finger on it. JP Diddy and myself did agree that their rifle, the Marine rifle, is probably the coolest sounding rifle in all of sci-fi. Like that thing sounds awesome, and they got the sound fucking perfect. Like I'm saying, like I don't know what's wrong with this game other than there's no minute for minute fun. There was close calls and we barely got out of there, and that was gratifying. But as far as like the rest of it, yeah, kind of missed the mark slightly. It's not like there's nothing bad about it. It's just not super fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially if you play through. Yeah, let's listen to the rifle here. All right, he's got to play it.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep. But yeah, imagine playing throughout the entire campaign and completing all that, and then you have to level up your characters, so you have to replay the same content. Now you have to increase the difficulty if you want it to be challenging and engaging, but really it doesn't change the gameplay that much. You're just shooting the same enemies, playing the same levels. The enemies come out at pretty much the same time because there's usually triggered events where the aliens come out. So it gets extremely repetitive.
You know what it might be too, Bobby, that makes it even worse, even more repetitive? The amount of repeated use of assets. Like the hallways are the same hallways, the crates are the same crates. They're just laid out a little different, throughout all these areas. Like everything, yeah, sure, that's how the movies are too. Like it's a spaceship, everything looks the same. But for something that you're going to go through over and over and over, you don't want that. And I don't know how you would change that. Maybe put it on a alien planet or something like that. Like I saw the egg area or whatever, the nest. That looked cool, different, But yeah, the assets are reused quite a bit. Yeah. for free, I can recommend it. Definitely check it out, especially if there's 3 friends. Like, what should we play? I've been spending my time, what little game time I've had, definitely Magic the Gathering and Risk of Rain 2. I've been just trying to beat it solo on monsoon mode, and it's just fun trying. I probably try 3-4 times a week and just with different characters. Just having a great time with that.
Nice.
Yep.
All right. Well, we want to give a quick shout out to a new patron, Neil Sprung. Thank you very much. And we also had a sub, Epic Tryhard Face, 29 months. It's a lot of months.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. And if you want to become a patron, you can do that. Just go to our website, dlgaming.net. Patreon button is right there front and center. And we still have the Not Safe for Work episode up. So if you become a patron, you will get access to that episode, as well as a bunch of other cool stuff. So check that out, dlgaming.net. It's all there. Listener questions. All right. God, I didn't even prep and read these yet, so I'm unprepared. First one comes from Zap. Have you ever bought a game from the Xbox launcher or any other launcher besides Steam? It seems like most other launchers are only on my computer because they gave me free games.
Yes, I bought a game from the EA launcher a long time ago, back when you had to buy games from the Ubisoft launcher. Essentially, one from a couple from each one, actually.
Well, Ubisoft, I think they still sell games on there, and they're always a lot cheaper than on Steam. So, yeah, I mean, if you don't care, which I'm at that point now where I don't care. I really am not a stickler about having everything in my Steam library. So I buy games off of itch.io, GOG. Like, I buy a ton of games off of GOG because there's no DRM there, and I know the developers get a better cut, and a lot of times I can find better prices there as well. But I've never bought a game off of Epic, and I have a huge library because I grab every single free game that they put out there.
Nice.
Like I scrolled through it the other day, and I was just in awe of how many games I had in there.
It's got to be over 20.
Over 20, yeah, it's way more than that. It's probably like 40 at this point.
Damn.
But yeah, never bought a game on there. The EA launcher and Ubisoft, I don't think I have. I think I might have activated free stuff on there. The EA one, I think I actually did buy games because when the SimCity remake came out, that's where it was available. EA was doing this thing for a while where games are only available on their launcher. So yeah, I think I did buy a few ones.
Yeah.
But the Xbox one, I bought Gears of War 4 on there way before Xbox Game Pass was ever a thing. I had a gift card, and I was like, okay, sure. But
Did you ever play it?
yeah, we played it.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
we played the campaign together. Well, we didn't finish it, and the some multiplayer mode. It was like a wave survival kind of thing. It was so much fun. It was honestly one of the best wave survival games
that was done really well.
I've ever played. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, I mean, I don't really care where I get my games from now.
You used to.
I used to be like, it's got to be on Steam, and I was super upset if like it wasn't on Steam, and I didn't want to do the thing where you add like a non-Steam game to the library, you know. But
Oh, jeez.
now I just absolutely do not care.
I'm trying to think. I'm sure it's happened. I mean, when Origin came out, I subscribed for that, but that's not buying a game on Origin. I'm not sure.
Didn't your Origin account get hacked or something? Or was it your Blizzard account?
Is my Blizzard account? My WoW account got hacked. I know that. But no, I can't think of when I purchased a game. Maybe just off of like one of those gray market ones, but they just give you a Steam key that I activate on Steam.
Yeah,
so
well,
that doesn't really
they'll
count.
sell keys for different. They can be activated on different platforms too.
Yeah,
So,
nothing comes to mind. I'm sure it's happened. I can't think of something.
yeah, but I mean, I really encourage people to check out GOG. Good Old Games is what it stands for, but GOG.com. So it's the company that made The Witcher, CD Projekt Red. It's their reselling
I
site.
did not even know that.
Yeah, they've got almost any game you can find on Steam on there, but they're very strict on like no DRM, and they have a launcher where you can import games from PlayStation Network, from Epic, I don't know about Blizzard, but Steam. It like loads your library in there, and it doesn't have all like the bells and whistles and the features that like Steam does, but it's a real clean interface, which I've always liked. But yeah, and it's more of a curated collection. Steam had a real problem when they did the whole Steam Greenlight, which isn't around anymore, where the idea was nice. Like, let's give these not even indie developers, but like, one guy in his basement or whoever's developing a game, you can put it on Steam Greenlight.
Mm-hmm.
People can go to Steam Greenlight and check it out. And if they like it, they upvote it. And if it gets enough upvotes, enough support, then it can actually go onto Steam. Like, great in concept, but totally backfired, because what would happen is people would say, get a bunch of free copies of my game if you upvote it, basically. And they would work the system. And then there are a lot of people who just want to collect the cards, so they'd make asset flips and just put these really shitty games out there. And before you knew it, Steam just got flooded with just a bunch of garbage, which populates most of my library. But yeah, GOG is way more curated, and they make sure everything runs too. So for the longest time, this was the best version of Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight that you could get was on GOG. They make sure it's going to run on modern systems. Even like the old games I bought like Crystal Caves and Secret Agent, like these games I used to play on Windows 3.1, like super old games. And they make sure that everything runs, like they use DOSBox or whatever, but it's like a one-click thing. It just works. But you look at the Steam games like TIE Fighter or like with Jedi Knight, they fixed Jedi Knight, but they wouldn't even launch. You'd buy a game on Steam and you'd try to play it on Windows like 7 or 10, and it just wouldn't even launch, or it didn't have the original soundtrack, or there was like really bad graphical problems and you had to basically hack the game to get it to work. It's ridiculous, and Steam is just, they don't care, so.
I bought Borderlands 3 on Epic. I remember.
Oh yeah, you had to.
And I just because they had the timed exclusive, and I just remember that JP Diddy bought Tiny Tina's Adventure, whatever that new game is, which by the way came out. Who nobody knew because it's on Epic, and he bought it at full price at $60, and he was like, "Let's play this," and I was like, "Whoa, let's check the Metacritic there, buddy." He just bought it sight unseen, because he's a snake dealing motherfucker. And it's looking pretty good. I think it's maybe I'll just put it on the radar next week. But yeah, we don't have time to download it.
God,
but
that's
yeah,
so
that
weird.
game,
I didn't even know that game had come out. I mean,
I know we
knew
talked
was
about it
coming out.
2-3 times on the podcast, and then it came out and nobody even knew.
Not a lot of fanfare.
Great job, Epic. The review, I believe it's 80 or 90%. Like it's doing pretty well.
Yeah.
85%.
Dude, this game looks awesome. What is this you're looking at, Christian? Siege Survival, Gloria Victis.
GOG is running like 90% off sales this week.
Yeah, they do that too. They'll have just like 90% off. Like I bought like the original Mortal Kombat trilogy, like 1, 2, and 3 for like $1.50 or
Nice.
something.
God damn.
Yeah, it's great for classic games, man. Like Lord of the Realms 2 is a game that I highly recommend. It's an old one, but it's like one of my favorite strategy games. 1 and 3 terrible. 2 amazing.
What is the Metacritic on the new Tiny Tina's, if you don't mind? I looked it up last night, but I can't remember.
Tiny Tina's Wonderland.
80%.
80 for
Ooh,
PC.
4.9 user score. That could be anything, though. That could be because it's on Epic.
No. I think the user score is not on a 10-point scale. Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that's probably
Whoa.
Maybe there's a woman protagonist in gamers.
it. The tits aren't big enough, so...
Full of bugs, cap, basic networking, server, ship hums, optimization, not great. Game is fun, better.
Technical stuff?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, is it going to be like Borderlands 3 where it's going to be exclusive to Epic for, 6 months, 8 months, and then it comes out?
Maybe. I haven't
Interesting.
even looked into it, man. I literally found out 23 hours ago that it was out.
Okay. Or maybe Borderlands is just a dead franchise.
But now I have to spend $60 so that John doesn't feel like he wasted $60.
Hmm.
He's like, I just assumed. He's like, you're a Borderlands nut, and then we wait for what are we going to play together, and then this came out, so yeah, I bought it and installed it and got it ready. I was like, shit, okay. Not that I'm not excited, but fucking $60, goddamn. I might spend that on a game twice a year, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, Zap.
All right, next question. Another one from Zap. He says Microsoft is giving away furry controllers for the release of Sonic 2, the movie. Besides fur, what do you think would be the worst material to make a controller, keyboard, or mouse out of?
Human skin. Sorry.
Oh, Jesus, yeah, that's the worst.
Okay, have you guys seen? They kind of did make a controller out of human skin or human
Oh
parts.
my God, dude.
No, it's a David Cronenberg movie. One of our listeners recommended it to me when I was like talking a lot about video game movies. God, look it up. David Cronenberg, late '90s movie, video game. It was all about like VR and stuff. Had a twist ending.
I remember you bringing it up somewhere.
Yeah. Existence. That's existence. I don't know how you pronounce that. It's got a Z in it. Existence and a capital X. Yeah, it's got like Jude Law in it. It was a weird movie, but yeah, they have these controllers that are just like human organs and stuff, and they like, it's Cronenberg. It's got to have all that body horror in it. But yeah, that's what I was thinking of when you said a controller made of human skin. It's like the Necronomicon, man. Don't open that. Yeah, those furry controllers look pretty wild, though. I don't know about that. They kind of look comfortable. I don't know how that would work if your hands get all sweaty.
Good to eating your Doritos and then getting your controller. Just, it's right there. The wipe off. You don't have to worry about it anymore.
Mm.
You can put these in the wash too. They're drier and...
Dude, stop.
It's true.
So gross.
You can put these on tumble dry, low heat. They're
man.
good to go.
Yeah, sure. Your batteries will melt too while you're at
I
it.
feel like cats would attack that. Like, looks like a cat toy.
Oh yeah, this is full of this. There's a lot of problems with this.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. I don't like controllers that are too smooth, and I'm having this problem with this new camera I got, which is absolutely amazing. But the part where you grip it on the right with your hand, and like where you put in the cards and stuff on the old version, I had a Panasonic GH4 for the longest time. Recently upgraded to the Panasonic GH6, and the GH4 has this like textured coating to it that you get a really good grip on, but for some reason they have it like slick plastic on the right side on the GH6, and it's driving me crazy. I feel kind of weird when I'm holding it. Like, just spent so much money on this camera, I don't want to drop it. Of course, if I were a real video guy, I'd probably get a cage and a grip for it. But
the PlayStation 5 remote has a bunch of X's, squares, triangles, and circles to give you grip.
mm-hmm.
And it's like
it's
not smooth,
like a
on it.
tactile feel, like something that's not going to be slippery.
I don't want to make this a JP Diddy show, but I guess I am. He buys scuff controllers, which I guess are like modified regular controllers. So they're an aftermarket company. And so they put grips all over the controllers. And
I've heard of these.
Yeah, they're pricey. But you could customize them. And the thing is, like, they're not building I don't believe they build their own controller and then like software and all that stuff. And then they take the regular ones and just make them better.
So is that like a rubberized material though?
Yeah, I think so.
See, and that's what I have on my audio recorder. I'm talking all about my my gear here. I'm sorry, but my Zoom H4, which is kind of old now. But
Where is all your stuff, Bobby? At work? Or
no, it's at home. Yeah.
Because I've been over there a million times. It's just all in the closet, or
Yeah, I keep it. I got like a media cabinet. You've seen it before.
I guess
where I got
so.
all my chargers and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all up there.
above your kit because you don't have kitchenware.
Yeah, because I don't have like pots and pans and stuff, so I can keep it up there. But
Jesus Christ.
the Zoom H4, I've had that thing for years and it's been outstanding, but it's got this like rubbery grip that like it's not sliding anywhere.
Mm.
But the problem is, after so many years, that starts to like
They're
deteriorate.
not
and
intended
it
for so many years, Bobby.
Well, we're talking like 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and this type of equipment, yeah, should last that long, and it still is. But it's just this rubbery grip that they put all over the thing. It turns into like this sticky, flaky thing. That
It's what
comes off.
happens to computer chairs or like office chairs. Like after a while, that stuff
Well, that's like pleather, and that's
well, still
it doesn't get sticky.
it
but
also
it just like falls off.
goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you got to get a real chair. But yeah, I basically had to sand down my my audio recording device.
I don't really have a dog in this fight, but when you asked this question, I think Days replied leather. And I just thought that would be a great I would try it. That sounds good. A leather controller sounds nice. I like the feel of leather. It's been used for hundreds of thousands of years for a reason. Still to this day, fucking shoes are made out of leather. Like, it's good. It's a good material. I don't think it'll get too sweaty, especially if it's that like patent stuff. But anyway, yeah, I would.
There's got to be leather controllers out there.
Yeah, or a cover or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would definitely try out a leather. Patent is not the word that I wanted. Patent is like that almost plastically leather. I'm talking about like just like a hard. I don't know. There's a leather. It must be out there. Anyway, ooh, Christian, are you sold? Christian, are you going to be buying a scuff controller?
I'm trying to make the ugliest controller possible.
Oh, are you impressed by their
And then
website and their stuff at all?
I am. Yeah, you can customize a lot of stuff. I was hoping you could add like, little decals or play stuff elsewhere. but
Deckles,
it's
is
just
that a
colors.
Canadian word?
That sounds like a Canadian word.
Oh, decals.
Deckles. Decals?
Decals? Get the fuck out of this world.
Deckles.
That's what it's put. Watch any Fast and the Furious movie. It's
Haven't
decals.
seen
You
'em. Not
fucking
gonna
maple
start.
leaf scum bitch. It's decal.
Not gonna start. Haven't
Deckles.
started.
Go back
Deckles.
to Quebec and say fucking we, you bitch. Deckle.
I don't know. I kind of like Deckles.
It's funny. It makes me want to
Deckles.
makes me want to chuckle.
Decal.
Rhymes with shekels.
It does.
All right. Next question from Warconiashin. I've been getting into VR in a big way for the first time and noticed there are a ton of mods and new modes for Alex. Has anyone tried any of the bigger ones like BioShock Rapture or
Oh shit.
aside for Alex, which are the other must-play VR games? I hear good things about Raw Data and Saints and Sinners.
Whoa.
Damn,
Well,
we
it's
should
too
wait
bad we
until
don't-
next weekend.
Yeah, we should save that question.
I was gonna say the Wanderer, dude. She's making it out to be fucking
Game of the year.
game of the year.
And Saints and Sinners, I've heard really good things about that game too.
But Steam VR, I mean, Super Hot VR is like that was the first one that people were like.
That was the best one I've played, but I haven't played very many. Yeah, we'll bring that question back when Days is around. But the BioShock Rapture mod sounds pretty interesting. I would love to see the world of Rapture.
I never really even thought
VR.
about it, dude.
Dude, that's how they should revive BioShock. Because I know they're working on a BioShock project now.
Yeah, it
But
sounded
think about
terrible.
how much that would revive the series.
not much.
Just
dude.
having each power, like having a drill and a fucking power in the other hand. Like how much that, or like whatever, like just being in fucking Rapture and VR and beating the shit out of stuff and beating like, man, that'd be so good.
It is a very visceral game, you know. Like
Yeah.
you freeze them with one thing and then you crack them while they're frozen with
Yeah,
the other thing.
spellcasting.
Yeah, it would be cool. But
I want to
Okay.
shoot bees out of my eyeballs.
I'm going back to this Deckle shit. Okay, so I have a quote here from Dog's Body. This is arcforums.com. He says it Deckle, and he's from northern Alberta, Canada. So that's the way you say it.
what the fuck?
That's what they say.
You're going by a forum post?
That guy
Yeah.
looks like he was part of the Freedom Convoy. Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Okay, how about
Right.
this? How about this? Go to a company that makes decals, find a video of them selling their stuff, and see how they say it. That's
Why don't you
their
go to the
company.
fucking
So-
robot of the internet that
I'm
tells you how
kind
to
of
pronounce
curious.
shit?
What do you call a decathlon?
Deckle.
A Declan.
That's not from Deckle though. Also, I've never said that word out loud, and I also don't want to start on it right now. Just give
Yeah,
me
I was about to say that, like, you've only ever read the word decal in your life, and that's what.
No, I said decal all the time.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
my God.
That's like my second favorite word. It's like
I make Deckles. I make them all the time. It's my second business.
Bobby, if this episode isn't called Deckles, I don't know how you're gonna spell it so it comes out that go. Anyway,
All right. Old Man Dave says, so Emilio and Nick, you two are pitching a game to Bobby. He will decide whether to fund you and whether or not you will get AAA money or indie level funding. You're going to pitch a 40K roguelike. Go. Well,
you already did it for us. How would that work?
Essentially, every time you don't.
You typed in
decal. You spelled it wrong. You fucking you ninny.
no. Look, American pronunciation. That's where you fucks are from, right?
Yeah,
America.
it's not spelled Deckle.
What? How's it spelled?
Decale.
What? Okay.
Oh, sorry, no E.
Okay. Sorry. Continue. My bad. I'll find out.
Anyways,
What race are we gonna go with? Or
so here's the thing.
Or
you go with all the
yeah, you unlock
the way
races
it works
that you.
is every time you die, you play the race that killed you.
Oh shit!
And it's like Nidhogg. You know how you go one way and then you go the other,
Yeah.
and whatever you face, you have to become that race. And it's 2D. It's a 2D. You can't go full. You can't. It's gonna take way too long to come out.
Yeah.
Bobby doesn't want a long-term investment.
Right. So we're going.
He doesn't.
Yeah, obviously it's 2D, but are we going with top down or are we going side scroller? Definitely top down.
Side
right?
scroller. Top down. Top down.
Yeah, let's just come on. It's going to be a Binding of Isaac clone, right?
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah. Okay. And then
Okay.
I feel like
I don't think you need a lot of money to make that kind of game.
Yeah, and then you unlock. See, I was thinking instead of unlocking characters, you're unlocking races.
You're unlocking races and units. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's different units too. Oh, this is getting
And
good.
vehicles.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Why is it always got to?
Why don't we just make that? Why don't you become billionaires right now?
Yeah. Damn.
Fuck it.
So there's the pitch. I mean,
There's the pitch. All right.
Games Workshop,
I'll
call
give
me.
you 40K to make your 40K game. How about that?
oof. Considering we don't know how to code,
We know Chad though.
he doesn't know how to code either.
Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, how much does a game designer make? I don't know.
Maybe you can find one on Fiverr.
Probably could.
Yeah.
Okay, SOCOM says, just wanted to say hi and remind you that Amanda had a birthday. Saying happy birthday on stream might be a nice thing.
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
Amanda.
Happy birthday.
I
I
put
love
that
your
in our
Pokemon
little.
themed birthday.
It's a significant birthday. I mean, we shouldn't mention her age, but it's
42.
It's one of the
He's
ones.
30 years old.
It's
30
one of the
years old,
ones that
everybody.
ends with O. Zero.
He's 30 years old, everybody.
which God, we're getting old, man. Like
Yeah.
I just realized, like, wow, it's
Yeah.
been a while ago since I was that age. But that is awesome. Yeah, she was
That's right.
in she's in Detroit this week. That's why she's not here with us. She is back home celebrating, but she will be back next week. And so be sure to send her some birthday wishes on the Discord. Never too late.
Yeah.
If you want to get her anything, get her all VR games. Make sure they're hentai or anything obscure. She loves it.
Yeah, actually, we'll take care of her. We should go to her wish list and grab her something. Sniper.
Okay.
Decal.
Fuck.
Yeah, Deckle.
And that's how we end the episode.
I've so many people say Deckle all around town. I'm going, hey, you got Deckles? They're like, yeah, we got Deckles. We got Deckles here,
are we
Deckles
referring
there.
to the same thing? Like a decal is like something like an image that you slap on like a car or
Yeah,
something.
what's a decal? Is
Yeah,
it like a? Is it
That's what it
cracker?
is. I don't even.
Okay.
You guys are saying decal. It's really fucking me up. Like really
I
fucking.
thought maybe a decal was like, I don't know, half a loony or something. Like it was
Hey, you got 3 decals to make a loony.
That's an odd number too. It's
like
three.
goddamn Monopoly world.
3 Deckles, dude. 3 Deckles make a loony. That's the best thing.
I can't wait to visit one day.
That is
I
good.
have my loonies and my toonies.
What are you gonna be?
Get my
fuck-
Ed Hortons.
When are you gonna get your freedom back, Nick?
What do you mean?
Like
When am I getting out?
Yeah,
Hold up, let me check the calendar.
100 and something days.
27?
While we wait on that, oh, he's back.
120 days exactly.
Shit,
Nice.
good stuff, man. Are you gonna get a
Oh, yeah.
retirement out of that too?
Oh yeah, for my injuries and essentially all the shit they fucked me up with like mentally and stuff.
Okay, cool.
So
Nice to know. Bobby, did you?
Yes.
I know we're not gonna cover it, but who played Guardians of the Galaxy?
I haven't started yet.
I downloaded it.
All right, we gotta get this whole fucking game of the weeks thing, guys. Everybody's like putting it on the back
We
burner.
got 1 week for procrastination.
Yeah,
And 1 week to
it's
actually play the game.
and that 1 week comes down to the last day usually. But, anyway, what are you gonna play next week? And I better not hear anything but Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah,
and how to trick more Canadians into saying decal.
yeah. There you go.
I'm gonna play. It would be hilarious if I showed up next week and be like, "Oh, I thought you meant Guardians of the Galaxy, the Telltale game." But no, I'm not gonna play a Telltale game. No, I've been really into like finishing off games that I just never got around to beating. So I'm like 95% of the way there on Trine 3, I think.
Oh yeah.
Maybe 4. No, I think it's 3. So
Is
I
4
think,
out? I get confused now.
I think 4 is out. I think 4 has been out for a while, if
Yeah.
I remember correctly. But yeah, so I'll probably finish that up, and then I don't know, man. Maybe another point and click adventure. I'm gonna have a little bit of time. this week.
Norco, free
Maybe.
demo.
Maybe I've already got. God, I've got a backlog, man. I can't just be jumping onto these new ones here. But yeah, I've got some things in mind, and I'm actually going to have a little bit of time this week, taking a few days off for
Good,
spring
man.
break.
You deserve
so,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, those white hairs are coming in a little too quick. You know, take a little bit too. How's the new gig?
It's great, man. It's just a lot of work.
Better in every way?
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually busier than I was at my last position, but it's
don't-
not as stressful for some reason. I don't know.
Huh.
It's just the type of stuff I'm doing, I think, is a little more rewarding because it's like big picture stuff, kind of.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it is kind of weird to be working a job where the work is just like a faucet. Like you turn it on, it just keeps coming, and it doesn't. So I've just got to be better about like turning off the faucet, you know, and not working through my lunches and not like answering too many emails on the weekends and just, you know, working late. Like plus because like I'm doing the work from home thing like some of the days a week, so it's really easy to blur the lines there. But
One of my best friends actually is my coworker, and I always tell him that like his like I ain't doing that button that I don't have. Like I don't know when to stop the work. I will just keep going. I won't take breaks. I'll just keep going and going and going. And he has a very good like fuck you button that he just pushes like that's stupid. I'm not gonna do that. But I'll be there fucking doing whatever the stupid shit is.
yeah.
They're knowing when to say no and how to say no is fucking
Yeah.
just
Well, it's not,
as
it's
just
not
as,
like I'd be saying no to like certain projects or I think that's dumb. Why would I do that? But it's just like the work never ends. So it's like at some point you just got to be like,
Yeah.
I'm cutting it off.
There's a
and
limit.
Then,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just gonna watch a movie or play video games or something, and I'm gonna like ignore work.
Sniper, are you playing video games these days?
Yeah, oh man, I got really high and I started a Crusader Kings 3 game that I now have to finish. So that's 100 hours of my life gone.
I'm curious, Sniper, like can you tell like how many of these have you done?
3 whole campaigns for Crusader Kings.
Can you tell me the story of one? Like what happened in one of them? You know what I mean?
Could definitely tell you the story of all 3, but not right now.
Why?
But
Just like
definitely.
a condensed version.
Um,
What were some
Yeah.
interesting things that happened? How did you start?
you owe.
It's too big.
I'm starting. It's so big, dude. But basically, I'm like an expert at the game now. So it's less about the story and more about the mechanics.
Okay.
But things keep happening that I've never seen before. Like I assumed the throne when I was 2 years old, so I got all these like child events, and I got a best friend that was a dog, and then the dog died, and that made me super stressed out. And I had a crush on this kid, and I punched this kid because he liked her. And then I assumed the throne, and that guy was my enemy. And I tried to poison him, and he found out. And then he came with his army, and he tried to take my castle. And he's married to my crush, who I still like. I don't like my wife; she's ugly, but I had to do it for an alliance.
Damn,
yeah,
that's the new playthrough?
Yeah, that's the new playthrough. But
Shit.
there's stuff like that every generation. There's like 10 generations, so it's fun.
Yeah.
Have you tried Bannerlord?
No, but I'd love it. It's a problem. I try to keep the games that I love, like, because I don't have a no button, but it's for video games.
It seems like
you Deckle.
It seems like oh my God. Deckle right now just became a derogatory term for a Canadian. Those fucking Deckles and their goddamn currency. Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing now. All right. Speaking for Nick, Chris, Bobby, and myself, Deckle titties. It couldn't be anything else.
You know what I would love to do this week? I would love to play some Pulsar Lost Colony. Not role playing.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
That's a. You know what I was thinking about playing is FTL, and always wondering if they were going to come out with a second one.
Did you ever play it, Nick? Did you play the Lost Colony?
Dude. No, what's that?
Let's play it this weekend. Let's do it.
Oh, you would love it, dude.